Well, I agree with that. I mean, I think she does more than that, actually, though, because I think what you said about dignifying the ordinary would be true of some other great novelists as well. I mean, the one who occurs in English most occurs to me is George Eliot. That seems to me to fit George Eliot really, really well, especially in her earlier novels. Um, I think Jane Austen, I'm not trying to rank her with other novelists, but I think the thing that really makes her stand out is something that George Eliot doesn't quite do, which is not just that the ordinary is given, its beautiful due, as John Updike would have said, but that her novels are so dramatic. Everything is so filtered through the perceptions of her characters that it's not, as it were, Jane Austen saying, hey, look, this is important. In George Eliot, it sort of is. It sort of is important. In The Mill on the Floss, George Eliot does sort of say, hey, look, this little girl's early sort of embarrassment over her hair, her unruly hair again, is a really formative thing, and none of the adults sitting around actually, they're either disapproving or like her father think it's all a joke. But look, if you're this little girl, it's not a joke at all, and that's brilliant. But but George Eliot is really directing your attention to it. I think Jane Austen mostly doesn't direct your attention to anything. She directs it's the characters' attentions that are directed. So if something matters, it's because it matters to one of them for particular reasons, sometimes rather odd reasons, but for particular reasons. So that, music, playing the piano functions in, all her novels have got something about that. And it's really important, but not because Jane Austen thought music was important, which she did. But that's not the point. The point is how, I don't know, Anne Elliot in Persuasion is condemned to play the piano for the dancing that's being enjoyed by the man that she loves but rejected 8 years ago, who's dancing with these two, fizzy young girls, young women, and Anne doesn't dance anymore. She just has to play the accompaniment. And the people she's playing for don't really understand music or realize or have any taste for it, not really. And she does, but she's condemned to be somebody who's not going to be appreciated, who can't share her pleasures with anybody else. And it's very powerful, it's very plausible, it's very ironical, and it's got, in a way, nothing to do with Jane Austen. It's just that character and how the music matters to her and in her story. And that's the really singular thing about Austen.